Up to the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. Today is Sunday, November the 22nd, 2020. It is Survivor Series Day. I want to thank everybody for listening, watching, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to follow on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch, Hook, Shoot. Head to ProWrestlingTees.com/CatchHookShoot for all your t-shirt needs, where they are having a week-long Black Friday sale from November the 24th through the 30th. You get up to 40% off. Head over to, again, ProWrestlingTees.com/CatchHookShoot. Pick yourself up a shirt. It makes a great holiday gift or stocking stuffer. Yes, that's a shameless plug, but hey, it's my show. So, and also head over to our web store at catchhookshoot.bigcartel.com to find t-shirts and hats that you won't find on Pro Wrestling Tees. And as always, the email is catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So let's get right into everything going on in the world of pro wrestling this week, starting it all off like we always do with the match of the week. So this week's match of the week comes from AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. It was the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, taking on Top Flight. This was Top Flight's debut on Dynamite. They've been on Dark a couple of times. Darius and Dante Martin, also known as Airwolf and Angel Dorado. And, this was just a fantastic tag team match. You know, the Bucks and Top Flight just put on an amazing match. A lot of high-flying stuff and just great storytelling in this match. Of course, both are brother teams, know each other very, very well. They're the partners, I should say, know each other very, very well, obviously, because they're brothers. And, Top Flight is, they're going to be huge. I mean, these guys are only 19 and 21 years old. Think about that. And they're, in there hanging with one of the best tag teams in the world in the Young Bucks. So, hopefully, we'll see, a lot more at Top Flight on AEW. Hopefully they get signed to contracts, because AEW right now has the best tag team division in wrestling as far as I'm concerned. So, Top Flight would definitely fit right in. So, this week's match of the week, Young Bucks, Top Flight from AEW Dynamite. If you have not seen it, go back and check it out. If you only watch one wrestling match this week, make it the Bucks and Top Flight. So, moving right along into the next segment is my top 3 highlights of the week, and it is called the 3 Count. So first up on the 3 Count this week is the Rascals had their final match in Impact Wrestling, and it was an interesting tag team match. It was Dez and Wentz versus Trey Miguel and Rich Swann. So didn't have all 3 of the Rascals on one side, and that's kind of telling to me, because Trey Miguel seems to be the one who's going to break out as a solo star, and Dez and Wentz potentially remaining as a tag team. There's some rumors floating around that, Miguel could be going to AEW while Dez and Wentz may be going to WWE, effectively splitting up the team. I hope that's not the case. I'd really like to see the 3 of them stick together wherever they go. But, great final match, great way to go out on Impact for these guys. Have to say, on a personal note, Rascals have become one of my favorite teams. I joke around with the Warrior Wrestling promoter Steve Tortorello a lot that, I think they endeavor to make mine and Charlie's job as hard as possible with some of the matches that they've put the Rascals in. But, I said on social media, and it was retweeted and liked by Desmond Xavier, which I can't thank him enough for, the recognition. But, I said on Twitter, calling these guys matches has been just a huge challenge. I mean, mine and Charlie's first live broadcast, we had to call a match between the Rascals against Will Ospreay, Amazing Red, and and Rocky Romero. And I mean, it was a huge challenge, but calling any match with the Rascals is a huge challenge. But these guys, as announcers, they've kept me and Charlie on our toes, and they have just made us better. They've forced us to get better when we're doing these live shows, because I mean, we're not professional broadcasters, obviously, but I think we owe a huge debt to the Rascals for making us up our game with those live broadcasts, with keeping up with their matches. So wherever the Rascals end up, whether it's WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, MLW, New Japan, whatever, wherever they go, these guys are going to be successful. So, I can't wait to see where they end up next, and, hopefully, we'll still see them at some point down the road at Warrior. But, so that's number one on the 3 count this week, is just a big thank you to the Rascals. Number 2 on the 3 count, the contract signing between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. And this contract signing was all about Roman Reigns just trash talking and belittling McIntyre into the ground, and saying how he's a secondary champion and things like that. I mean, I'm really, really liking the heel Roman Reigns that we're seeing right now, and I think the match with him and McIntyre at Survivor Series is going to be fantastic. I mean, these two guys are just going to go in there and beat the hell out of each other, and I think that's the best you can ask for from this particular matchup. Number 3 on the 3 count, the Inner Circle in Las Vegas. Just a ridiculous, funny, fun segment from AEW Dynamite. Kind of turned into almost a parody of the Hangover movies, and it was great. I thought it was entertaining as hell. I'm sure people on social media had a lot negative to say about it, about how ridiculous it was and things like that. And, guys, that's the point. It was meant to be ridiculous. It was meant to be funny. It was meant to be entertaining. So it is what it is. And I loved it. So, the Inner Circle in Vegas, check that one out too, because I thought it was great. Moving on to Monday Night Raw, we found out that Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose are out of the Survivor Series. Both of them injured, apparently. Now, Mandy's injury, I believe, is legit. It actually happened the previous week on Raw. Looked to be a shoulder injury, and Dana Brooke was attacked by Reckoning from Retribution, which accounted for her, I believe, storyline injury, and they've been replaced by Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce on Team Raw for the women. The New Day retained the Tag Team Championship over the Hurt Business in a really good tag team match there as well. Retribution defeated Team Raw in a 4-on-4 tag team match. Just again, showing the dissension among the Raw men's Survivor Series team. And saw a lot of interesting stuff between The Miz and Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and John Morrison. And so just it looks like Bray Wyatt and The Miz is the new rivalry that's going on. We saw Alexa actually take out John Morrison in the midst of the match that the two were having. We also saw Alexa just kind of snap and beat down Nikki Cross when she was trying to talk sense to Alexa, try to get her away from the Fiend. So obviously this is something that's going to continue for a while. And Drew McIntyre defeated Randy Orton to regain the WWE Championship. A little bit of a surprise, but not too big of a surprise. It seems the last few years this is what kind of happens. There's a major title change the week before Survivor Series, so kind of interesting that they're continuing that little tradition, if you want to call it that. So that's what's set up McIntyre versus Reigns for Survivor Series coming up later tonight. Moving on to NXT, Leon Ruff retained the North American title in a rematch against Johnny Gargano. Ruff ended up winning via disqualification when Damian Priest came out and punched Leon in the face to get Gargano disqualified. So, Damian Priest still taking a measure of control when it comes to the North American Championship. And we saw something we haven't seen in a while, a blindfold match between Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes, and the purpose behind that being, Grimes is basically afraid to look Lumis in the eye, but if he doesn't have to look him in the eye, he can fight him, and so that led to the blindfold match, which pretty much ended in a no contest. Grimes ended up beating down the referee, thinking it was Lumis, and yeah, I mean, it was fun, it was entertaining, it was what it was. Then we found out that the next NXT TakeOver will be War Games coming up on December the 6th, and there will be 2 War Games matches apparently, women's match and a men's match. So same as it was last year. On one side, on the for the women, the team captains are going to be Candice LeRae and Shotzi Blackheart, and looks like later on in the show we saw a tag team match between Ember Moon and Toni Storm taking on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Now, Moon and Storm were victorious in that, but Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell came out at the end of the match, attacked Moon and Storm, threw them back into the ring, and Gonzalez powerbombed them both. So it looks like Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez are going to round out the team for Candice LeRae. So it'll be Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. Now, Shotzi's team, I would assume, based on this, is going to include Ember Moon and Toni Storm, and she'll need one more member of the team. Now, I would say Tegan Knox, but I don't think she's going to be back from injury that quickly. So we'll have to see who the 4th member of Shotzi Blackheart's team is going to be for War Games. We saw a confrontation in the ring between Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. Ciampa apparently wants a fight with Timothy Thatcher, and I, for one, would love to see that match. So hopefully that'll take place during that War Games pay-per-view. And then we saw another confrontation. Damian Priest came out to wrestle a match, got attacked before the match even started by Johnny Gargano. Leon Ruff came out, and it ended up in a 3-way brawl, which I'm sure is going to end up in a triple threat match at some point in the either next week or in the coming weeks. Saw some more goings on with Boa and Xia Li. Basically, Boa did not show up at the Performance Center. William Regal went to Boa's house, asked him, why he wasn't there. And basically, what's going on is Boa and Xia Li are both in hiding, and Boa just kept repeating, "She's coming." Not sure who the she is that he's referring to, but apparently this is the person who's been sending the notes to Xia Li and to Boa. So, yes, looks like we're going to get some type of debut in the next coming weeks. We'll have to see, is it somebody new or is it somebody who's been around for a while who's just getting kind of a repackage, or what's going on. And then for the NXT Women's Championship, the main event of the night, we had Io Shirai retaining against Rhea Ripley in another great match between these two women. We'll have to see who the next contender is for the Women's Championship, because, like I said, Io did retain. There's been some rumors of Rhea possibly moving up to the to either Raw or SmackDown. Now, she's one I think would fit in, very well. I think would probably make a good showing on either Raw or SmackDown. She's one I don't think she'll suffer the same fate as a lot of NXT stars do, of getting lost in the shuffle when they get moved up to the main roster. So we'll have to see. Rhea Ripley's another one that would round out that Shotzi Blackheart team for War Games very, very well, though, if she does stay in NXT. And then Finn Balor actually made his return to NXT. Finn Balor, of course, is the NXT champion. He's been out of action with a broken jaw for the last several weeks. Didn't get to say too much in the ring before he was interrupted by Pat McAfee and his crew. And then we saw the return of the Undisputed Era. Came out and put a pretty good beating on McAfee, Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch. And it looks like that is going to be the men's War Games match. It's going to be the Undisputed Era versus McAfee and his crew. So that should be an interesting matchup. Undisputed Era, pretty much, the kings when it comes to NXT War Games. They've been in every War Games match since it was brought back in NXT. So I gotta go with Undisputed Era in that one. Moving on to SmackDown, the SmackDown Survivor Series teams were finally rounded out. Otis was added to the men's team, Bayley was added to the women's team, and Natalya picked up a victory over Tamina to qualify for the women's team as well. I already talked about the contract signing between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. It was a very, very good segment. Great promo by Roman Reigns. He is just playing that arrogant, self-important heel to a T, and he's doing a magnificent job of it, I have to say. We saw Buddy Murphy pick up a victory over Seth Rollins with the Mysterio family in his corner. Had a face-to-face in the ring between Sasha Banks and Asuka, who will, of course, be facing each other at Survivor Series as well, the SmackDown and Raw Women's Champions. And that was interrupted by Carmella with yet another attack on Sasha Banks. So Carmella definitely making her intentions very clear. She wants that SmackDown Women's Championship. And then we saw Daniel Bryan make his return after being out a couple of weeks with an injury. He picked up a victory over Jey Uso, who was the one who caused the injury to Daniel Bryan. Also, some miscellaneous news. It's been reported Seth Rollins is going to be taking some time off, I would assume probably after Survivor Series, which makes sense if you've been, following the story. He and Becky Lynch are expecting their first child sometime within the next month or so. So, obviously Rollins is going to take some time off to enjoy and spend time with his new family. Moving on to the Survivor Series coming up a little bit later tonight, and it's being billed as The Undertaker's Final Farewell. Now, how exactly that's going to work, I don't know. Is Taker going to come to the ring? Is it just going to be like a video package? If Taker does come to the ring, is he going to be in full Undertaker garb? Is it going to be Mark Calloway coming to the ring? Is he going to speak? A lot of questions surrounding this and how it's going to go. Is it going to be like a legit farewell? Is it going to get interrupted by someone? Who knows? It could go a lot of different ways, but a lot of the Undertaker's old running mates, like real life running mates, are expected to be there. Henry Godwinn, Rikishi, The Godfather, JBL, Kane are some of the names that have been dropped as being there. Savio Vega as well. A lot of these guys, of course, part of the Bone Street crew, which was the Undertaker's kind of circle back during the Attitude Era. But let's get into the Survivor Series itself here. We've got Team Raw, which is on the men's side, AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Matt Riddle, which we've seen a lot of dissension in the ranks with this team over the last several weeks, taking on Team Smackdown, which is Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and Otis. Haven't seen much interaction with this team on the Smackdown side, so I'm going to say Raw is going to pick up the victory in this one. I don't know. I'm not super invested in this match, mostly because, like I said, on the SmackDown side, we haven't seen a whole lot of interaction between the team members. And Jey Uso's kind of a wild card there. He and Kevin Owens have had some issues, and then Seth Rollins has his own thing going on. Otis is kind of a curveball thrown in at the last minute, and then you got King Corbin. So not sure how this match is going to go. On the women's side for Team Raw, you've got Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lana, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce taking on the SmackDown team of Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Natalya. This one I got to pick SmackDown. I just think they have the better team, so I'm going with Team SmackDown for the women's Survivor Series match. Then we've got the U.S. champion Bobby Lashley taking on the Intercontinental champion Sami Zayn. Got to pick Lashley in this one. He's just the more dominant, Sami Zayn, kind of the cowardly heel character right now. But I gotta go with Bobby Lashley. And then we've got the Raw Tag Team Champions, the New Day, taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. This one I got to go with the Street Profits. They're kind of the I don't want to say new. They've been, in WWE for a while now, but kind of the, I guess, up and coming. I'm looking at it as kind of like a passing of the torch from, the current best team to the what I think is going to be the next great tag team in WWE. So I'm picking the Street Profits in this one. Then for the women's champions match, Asuka taking on Sasha Banks. I'm going to go with Asuka in this one just because I think Carmella is going to stick her nose in here somewhere and kind of cost Sasha the match. And then we've got the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre taking on the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. I think WWE painted themselves into a corner with this one a little bit. I don't think this match is going to have a clean ending. I'm thinking maybe a no contest, possibly disqualification, but I don't see either guy losing clean to the other. So I'm going to say this one ends in a no contest because I don't think WWE wants either guy to take a clean loss right now. So, that's my pick for that one. It's going to be a no contest. And then on the pre-show, there's going to be a dual-branded Battle Royal with participants from Raw and SmackDown. So, can't really pick a winner because the participants haven't been announced. So, it is what it is. It's a Battle Royal. Battle Royals are always fun. So let's see how this one turns out. Moving on to AEW, I already talked about the great match between the Young Bucks and Top Flight. Now, at the end of this match, we saw Top Flight getting attacked by the Hybrid 2, Angelico and crap, I can't remember his partner's name. Yeah, I'm doing real good this week, folks. But anyway, the Hybrid 2 attacking Top Flight after the match. Bucks made the save. So, makings of an interesting rivalry there between Top Flight and the Hybrid 2. Jack Evans and Angelico. There you go. That's the Hybrid 2. Then Orange Cassidy picked up a victory over Kip Sabian after the match. Miro attacked Orange Cassidy. Best friends made the save. So this is a rivalry that's definitely going to continue. We were supposed to get a contract signing between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega for the world title match coming up on December the 2nd. And Kenny Omega made his way out to the ring to sign the contract. And then we saw in the backstage area, Jon Moxley had been attacked and laid out by somebody, bleeding from his, believe it was his nose or his mouth, one or the other, or both. And so not sure who attacked Moxley, but only one name is on that contract so far, and it is Kenny Omega. But that match is set to take place December the 2nd. We saw Pac make his return to the ring after an 8-month quarantine hiatus, whatever you want to call it, and picked up a victory over the Blade from the Butcher and the Blade. And after the match, Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and the Blade, all three attacked Pac after the match. Phoenix actually came down to make the save and caught a beatdown himself from Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and the Blade. And then we saw Pentagon come out with a steel chair. Looked like he was going to be on the side of Kingston, Butcher, and Blade, and then turned and swung the chair at Kingston just as Kingston got out of the ring. So looks like Death Triangle is back together. Death Triangle, of course, is Pac, Phoenix, and Pentagon. Now, this is a group that was put together just before the whole world went on lockdown, and Pac wasn't able to travel. So that's kind of how Phoenix and Pentagon ended up with Kingston. But now Pac apparently is back, and so is the Death Triangle. So that right there is a new rivalry going forward. Death Triangle versus Kingston, Butcher, and Blade. So that should make for some very good matches. Then we saw Brandy attacked by Jade in the back, and Jade being helped out by Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. So interesting grouping there. And Jade stomped Brandy's arm in between a chair. So possibly injury angle going on here. Possible broken arm to Brandy Rhodes. So we'll see where that one's going to go. Serena Deeb retained the NWA World Women's Championship in a rematch against Thunder Rosa, who Serena won that title from. And after the match, we saw a huge brawl break out between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. So that I'm sure will lead to a match probably at the next AEW pay-per-view. And the main event, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks picked up the victory over Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin. A little bit of a surprise there. Brian Cage got the pinfall on Darby, so Cage could be in line for a TNT title match. And we saw Will Hobbs come down after the match, looked to be be making the save for Cody and Darby, only to find out that Will Hobbs is the newest member of Team Taz. Taz has been trying to recruit Hobbs for the last several weeks, and apparently Hobbs has taken him up on his offer. Moving on to Impact, we had Moose defeat Willie Mack. Moose showing a much more aggressive, dominant side ever since his battle with EC3. And, kind of controlling his narrative, so to speak, like EC3 kept telling him to do, and just put a big beat down on Willie Mack and saying that he wants Rich Swann. So Moose wants that Impact World Championship. We saw Eric Young and Joe Doring again just kind of running roughshod and doing whatever they want to do, putting a beat down on Suicide as well as on Rhino and Heath Slater in the back. Well, it was implied that they put a beat down on Heath. They kind of walked into the room where he was and shut the door, so you didn't actually see Heath catching a beating, but that was the implication. Tommy Dreamer continuing his investigation into who shot Johnny Bravo, and the latest suspect is apparently Johnny Swinger. Tommy Dreamer found a gun in Swinger's fanny pack. No big surprise there. So Swinger will be going to Wrestlers Court next week, so that should be fun to watch. And the Women's Knockouts Tag Team Championship Tournament started this week. Havoc and Nevaeh picked up a first-round victory over Tennille Dashwood and Alicia Edwards to advance to the second round. Jordan Grace's partner still has not been named, but they did show a segment with Jordan in the backstage area talking on the phone to whoever her partner is, saying that a couple of hints were dropped, mentioned that the person is retiring, so that not sure who it could be. My first thought was Victoria, or also known as Tara, from TNA, but she retired last year actually, so I'm not thinking it's her, but who knows? We'll find out this coming week though. And then we saw another segment with Ethan Page and the Good Brothers backstage. Page, wanting a rematch for the Impact Tag Team titles, but first he's got to face what they're calling a phenomenal opponent next week. A lot of implications about it being AJ Styles. I think we obviously know it's not going to be AJ Styles, but it'll be interesting to see who the Good Brothers bring out as an opponent for Ethan Page next week. Then I already talked about the final Impact match of the Rascals. Rich Swann and Trey Miguel picked up the victory over Dez and Wentz. Great tag team match with these four guys, and great farewell after the match for the Rascals. So hopefully, like I said, I really hope the three of them are able to stay together. But whatever happens, I'm a huge fan of the Rascals, so I can't wait to see what's next for them. MLW started back up this week with their regular weekly shows, MLW Fusion, and they announced the 2020 Opera Cup brackets, which will be starting next week. And those brackets are in the first round. We've got Tom Lawler taking on Rocky Romero, Laredo Kid versus ACH, Richard Holiday versus TJP, and Low Key versus Davey Boy Smith Jr. So some great matches in the first round, which are going to lead to some really good matches in the second round. So that is the Opera Cup bracket for this year. First match on Fusion was Alex Hammerstone picking up a 20-second victory. I didn't even catch his opponent's name, to be honest with you. So, yeah, Hammerstone wins in 20 seconds and throws out a challenge at Jacob Fatu for the World Heavyweight Championship. Myron Reed retained the middleweight championship against Brian Pillman Jr. in a great match, and Myron Reed himself with a calling out Leo Rush wants to challenge Leo Rush, who is no secret going to be making his MLW debut coming up pretty soon. So that should be a great match between Reed and Rush. We saw a segment from Los Parks, and that of course is L.A. Park and his two sons, Hijo de L.A. Park and L.A. Park Jr. I believe are their names, but they want championships, tag titles, singles titles, whatever. They want championships. And then before the main event on MLW Fusion, and I was watching on YouTube, so I don't know if this particular commercial was played on all the platforms or if it was just on YouTube, but a commercial for Stephen P. New, who I refer to as PN News. Jim Cornette's attorney. Why? Court Bauer, why? Why would you give that man any airtime on any of your programming? With all the crap that Cornette has spewed about MLW, about every wrestling promotion, and you're going to give his lackey, commercial time. Come on, you can do better than that. But, I threw up in my mouth a little bit when I saw that. But then the main event for the first week of MLW Fusion, Jacob Fatu retaining the World Heavyweight Championship against Davey Boy Smith Jr. And then after the match, we saw Hammerstone come out and get attacked by some members of Contra Unit under masks. And, one of these guys, I'm not sure who it was, huge guy, they referred to him as the Black Hand of Contra, the commentators did, and, had a mask on. Couldn't tell who he was, but obviously a new member of Contra, so I'm sure we'll find out who this is in the coming weeks for MLW. So that's going to do it for news and rumors for this week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he is here with your Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey there, wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with your Indie Cut. Hopefully it's fast today, so let's start with Friday, November 13th. Southern Honor Wrestling from Canton, Georgia, where they had an attendance of 260. For the PSW heavyweight title, champion Tyler Culprit defeated Ace Haven. Jordan Kingsley defeated Hold My Beer Hansen. For the Southern Honor Wrestling tag titles, champions Joey Lynch and Matt Lynch defeated Michael Stevens and Zach Edwards. And for the Southern Honor Wrestling title, champion Joe Black defeated Gunnar Miller. On to Pro Wrestling All-Stars of Detroit 14th Anniversary Show. For their junior heavyweight title, champion TJ Meyer defeated Percy Drews. For their Cruiser Core title, champion Mysterious Movado defeated Tanner Nix. Tommy Vendetta defeated Kareem. For their tag titles, champions Chuck Stein and Peter B. Beautiful defeated Malik and the Soul Taker. For the MPW tag titles, champions Tanner Nix and TJ Meyer defeated Adam Wick and Alex Weir. And for their heavyweight title, champion Dread King Logan took on Atlas Hightower to a draw. Down to Alternative Pro Wrestling in Royston, Georgia. For the North Georgia title, Caleb Crocker defeated champion Strict 9 to become new champion. For the APW tag titles, champions Dynamic Dexter and Stevie Ray Frost defeated Donnie and John Hogan. And for the APW Southern States title, champion Jackson Carter defeated Kyle Phillips. And in their Game Changer Rumble match, Billy Starr won that. Then on to Action Wrestling Friday the 13th from Tyrone, Georgia. Brett Eisen defeated Cole Radrick. Cabana Man Dan defeated Shug D by DQ. For their Action title, champion AC Mack defeated Trey Lamar. Then another taping, Fred Yehai defeated Adam Priest. Billy Starks defeated Shishin. And Eric Royal defeated Anthony Henry. There was a CMLL taping where El Cretero, Forstero, and Sanson defeated Diamante Azul, Teton, and Valdor Jr. 2-0. On to Saturday, November 14th, Westside Extreme Wrestling, Day 18. Tristan Archer, who has now 4 points, defeated Prince Ahura, who has 2. Body Slam Pro Wrestling Revenge Afternoon Show from Denmark, so you are now on the map. Toby Zane defeated Bam Bam Quaid and Eric Sable and Jackpot in a gauntlet match. Michael Fine and Tank defeated Phoenix Fondant of Carlos Zamora and Hype Boy. And in their Body Slam title, champion Peter Alexander defeated Xander. Then later in their evening show for the tag titles, Adonis and Rayo defeated champions Michael Fine and Tank to become new champions. Over to Stardom, New Landscape with attendance of 563. Let's see. Fine. It was a great show altogether, but I'll just go with the Artists of Stardom title match, where Odatai of B. Priestley, Natsuka Tora, and Saki Kashima defeated the champions of Donna Del Mundo, Julia, Micah, and Siri to become new champions. And then the Goddesses of Stardom title match, Queen's Quest of Saya Kamatani and Utami Hayashita, who are champions, defeated Queen's Quest of Azumi and Momo Watanabe. Great show. Those two matches were really good. Check them out if you can. You know how I like Stardom and Tokyo Pro. They put all the effort they can in every match, so check them out. On to DDT TV show number 12 for the KO'd 6-man title. Akito, Kazuki, Harada and Shota defeated champions of Kasara Higuchi, Saki Aki, and Yuko Sakaguchi to become new champions. That was a really good match as well. I just got to see that. On to Basra 140. They have a tournament, Iron Fist Tag Tournament, where Minoru Fujita and Raichi Sakain defeated Fuminaro Abe and Tatsuya Isho. And in another match is Raito Nakatsu and Sagat defeating Takuma Sakamoto and Yashi Urono. Then down to Southern Hemisphere Wrestling Alliance. She Can't Get the Best of Me from Western Australia. El Toro Blanco defeated Pegasus. And in their Pride title, champion Del Cano went against Michael Morleone to a no contest. Back here in the States for World Wrestling Network, Eddie Kingston's Grindhouse 2 from Port Richey, Florida. So there's a lot going on around that area. Troy Holiday defeated Hunter Law. Ariel Dominguez and Sean Maluda defeated the besties in the world of Davey Vega and Matt Fitchett. Thomas Shire defeated Jeremy Wyatt. J.D. Drake defeated Joseph Black. Savannah Evans defeated Lindsay Snow. I must say that's a little bit of an upset. And Fred Yahai defeated Anthony Henry. That was a really good match. Check that out. Wrestle America promotion in Barnesville, Georgia. Sorry about that. Samantha Starr defeated Dream Girl Ellie. Neo Koloff defeated Friday. And in their heavyweight title, champion Alexander Koloff defeated Payne. Then Wrestling for a Cause from Wagner, Oklahoma. For their heavyweight title, Alex Royal defeated champion Sam Stackhouse to become the champion. And in the Hometown Heroes title match, Dmitry Alexandrov defeated champion Tim Rockwell also to become the champion. Over to Titan Championship Wrestling, Mount Olympus from Jackson Township, New Jersey. They had a heavyweight title battle royal where Steve Mack defeated about 20 others to become new champion there. They had a middleweight title match, a goddess title match, cruiserweight title, hardcore title, and also a heavyweight title. All the champions retained their championships there. Impact Wrestling Turning Point 2020 took place. If you have not seen it, it is actually free on YouTube, last I saw, and probably on Impact Plus page, as that was also a free viewing. So Turning Point was free for everyone. So that's pretty cool by Impact. Thank you. I got to enjoy it with no problems whatsoever for a change. Then down to ICW No Holds Barred, Volume 8, also from Port Richey. This was an interesting match where Ming, of all people, went against Slack. It was to a no contest, so it was a little, kind of felt like a dud since there was no ending to that, since they were both kind of busted open, but not badly compared to some other people I've seen and the rest of the show. As Eric Grinan defeated Dominic Guarini, Reed Bentley defeated Jimmy Lloyd, Atticus Kogar defeated Neil Diamond Cutter, G. Raver defeated Eddie Only, Alex Ocean defeated Akira, and in a 60-minute Iron Man death match, John Wayne Murdoch defeated Maureen V. 2 falls to 1. So there was a Bruce City Wrestling Thanksgiving Throwdown 2020 from Waukesha, Wisconsin. Sierra defeated Sky Blue. For the Beer City Heavyweight title, champion Maverick Boone and Stacy Shadows went to a double countout. For the tag titles, Chucky Bates and Gunnar Wicks, who are champions, defeated Cypher and Nacho Clown by DQ. Nice to see them in action. For the Heritage titles, Falls Count Anywhere match, champion Aesop Mitchell defeated Ethan Matthews. Then to Anarchy Wrestling from Cornelia, Georgia. Hold My Beer Hansen defeated Jay Too Strong. Logan Creed and Shane Marks defeated Ben Buchanan and Griff Garrison. Up to 0-1 USA from Noble, Illinois, where they held a tournament for the USA Heavyweight title Tenachi Junior Tournament. Victor Analog defeated Da Cobra to become champion in that. East Coast Pro Wrestling Autumn Aggression from Reserve Mines, Nova Scotia, Canada. For the Celtic Roots title, champion Charlie Hubley defeated Madison Miles. Connors defeated Bradford. And in their ECPW heavyweight title, loser leaves town match, champion Lincoln Steen defeated Mike Hughes. Down to Mexico, where Promociones Bella 4 anniversary took place, where Laredo Kid took on Ultimo Legendario to a double countout. And then there was a Mexico freelance show, also in Mexico, where Cyclone Ramirez, Crazy Boy, and Super Crazy defeated Charo, Forza Guerrero, Next Generation, and Supernova. Then DTU and AML did a joint show where Crazy Boy and Super Crazy defeated Blaze and Hio del Espectad Jr. as long as with Escora and Charlie Rockstar. So Super Crazy was working a lot. And then in a CMLL taping, Aduls, El Soberan Jr. and Valentine defeated Felino, Templario, and Tiger. Then on to Sunday, November 15th. Rev Pro Wrestling Epic Encounters 5 on Twitch. Tape, but on Twitch nonetheless. Pretty decent show. Odatai, Bree Priestley, and Jamie Hayter defeated Bobby Tyler and Zoe Lucas. Pretty decent match there. Dan Maloney defeated Josh Samuels. And for the Rev Pro Undisputed British Heavyweight title, champion Will Ospreay defeated Ricky Knight Jr. and a really good match. So check out their Twitch stream if you can. Not subscribe and find out when they're on next. Then on to Japan, where there was a Genichiro Tenru Retirement 5th Anniversary show. Surprisingly enough, he was not on the show. So Hiroko Sato, Raichu Kawakami, and Yuji Hino defeated Kengo Mishimo, and Minoru Suzuki. So Suzuki worked a anniversary show for someone else. Then on to Stardom's Sendai Cinderella. This was a great show where future Stardom title match, champion Maika defeated Saya Ida. In the high-speed title match, Azumi, who was champion, defeated Goki Getting Death. Pretty quick match there. For the SWA Undisputed Women's title, Siri actually defeated champion B. Priestley to become the champion. For the winner or Stardom title match, champion Julia defeated Konami. And in the World of Stardom title match, Utami Hayashita defeated champion Mayu Iwatani. All those matches are awesome. Check that out if you can. And if you don't know how, look up DJ Stream. That's usually where I'm watching them now. Then there was a Sean Capture Go Samani Tour freelance show from Japan, where Tajiri defeated Akato Hideka. So Tajiri's still going. I'll get to him a little bit later on. I think he's in another match later on. Then New Japan started their Super Junior and World Tag League. This is a big show as both tournaments took place in one night. I don't have to go through all those matches. It's going to go till almost to the beginning, till December 11th will be the finals. So I'll let you know how it's going. Gato Move Choca Pro 65 took place on YouTube on Sunday. So Dragon Gate Kobe Pro Wrestling Festival took place, where there were a couple of title changes. BB Hulk and Kai defeated Koto Minoru and Yamato, who were champions to become champion. Then opened the Dream Gate title match. Shun Skywalker defeated champion Eita. So that had to be a really good match there. Then on to International Wrestling Revolution Group in Mexico. They held a lightweight title battle royal where Reddy Mito is new champion. And then there was a double hair versus hair tag match where Jesse Ventura, not that Jesse, but a different Jesse, and Passion Crystal defeated 911 and AK-47. There was another DTU Sin Auto show where Crazy Boy and Super Crazy defeated Dr. Wagner Jr. and Galino Del Mel. Up to Monday, November 16th, Westside Extreme Wrestling, Day 19. Bobby Guns, who has now 6 points, defeated Fast Time Moto, who has 0 still. Ceiling Grow Together show was shown, where Sari defeated Hanoyo Hana. In a Ceiling Beyond the Sea tag title match, champions Arisho Nakajima and Tsukasa Fujimoto defeated Ami Sasamura and Yu. And their Ceiling Beyond the Sea title, champion Yoshiko defeated Aja Kong. That had to be really good as well. New Japan World Tag League Day 2 took place. Ice Ribbon and Actress Girls Joint Show took place, where in the Actress title match, champion Miyuko Takashi defeated Akane Fujita, and in an Ice Infinity title match, champion Susie Suzuki defeated Tei Hanma. Back here in the States, H2O Undiscovered number 37 show took place. In their Undiscovered title match, Gigi Everson defeated champion Dylan McKay to become new champion. To Tuesday, November 17th, Westside Extreme Wrestling, Cara Noir, who has 4 points, defeated Neil Merrick. Noah Premium Prelude 2020 took place. Dragon Gate, The Gate of Evolution Day 5 took place, where Shun Skywalker defeated Yusaki Santa Maria. And then Dragon Kid, Tsushimu Yokosaka and Yoshi Kanada defeated Eita HYO and SB Kento. There was a Big Japan Pro Wrestling show that took place. Back here in the States, Ohio Valley Wrestling TV 1110. Jesse Guiders defeated the Star Rider. Tony Gunn defeated Gustavo. New South Action Class number 10, where New South title champion Donnie Janela defeated Luther X. There was a New Studio Wars number 2 from Connecticut for Northeast Wrestling. Studio Wars number 2 took place. Richard Holiday defeated Chris Battle. Heavy Metal Wrestling, New Texas Pro Wrestling, Week 7 took place. Gregory Iron defeated Prince Adam in a Texas Grand Prix Funk bracket match. Jay Sirius defeated The Great Scott. In a Texas Death match, Ricky Shane Page took on Ruben Steele to a no contest, which led to a tag match of Prince Adam and Ruben Steele defeating Gregory Iron and Ricky Shane Page. Then to United Wrestling Network Live number 10. The one called Manners defeated Ricky Slade. Lindsay Snow and Ruby Reyes went to a WDQ. Danny Limelight defeated Clark Connors. And for the CWFH Heritage Heavyweight title match, champion Ray Rosas defeated Andy Brown. Next week there will be no UWN Network title match as Chris Dickinson is dealing with a back injury, but the match will still take place at a future date. They're not just going to hand over the belt to Michael Bennett, but so we'll see what happens and when. On to wrestling November 18th. Wednesday, November 18th. I'm okay. West Side Extreme Wrestling. Minahan, who has 4 points, defeated Avalanche, who has 5. New Japan Press the Super Juniors. Day 3 took place. Ice Ribbon Peace Party 60 took place. DDT Dramatic Love for Fuji 2020 took place. Yeah, that's nothing really big there. All Japan Pro Wrestling Tag League Day 1 took place. This is some nice tags here. Masato Tanaka and Tajiri teamed up and won, so they got 2 points, defeating Raijo Sai and Yoshitatsu. It's a bunch of WWE guys there. Jake Lee teamed with Koji Iwamoto to defeat Purple Haze of Uzanagi and Sugihiro Iri. Then Abdullah Kobayashi and Daisuke Sakamoto teamed up to defeat Kento Miyahara and Yoma Oagi. So those tags has to be awesome with those guys as teammates. Then finally, ML Major League Wrestling Fusion returned to YouTube. Exor Hammerstone, Man Reed, and Jacob Fatu all won those matches. On to the Mass Wrestler show number 6. It was Wildcat defeating Stokely Hathaway Jr., who turned out to be Tony Deppen, and he didn't wait for anyone to reveal who he was because he was this one pissed off little man, and he was upset because he got punched kind of low and didn't like the loss. Everyone online kind of knew it was Deppen, so it was no surprise to me that he was Stokely Hathaway Jr. Sorry, Tony. On to Thursday, November 19th, Westside Extreme Wrestling. Faceless, who has 8 points, defeated Prince Ahura, who has 2. New Japan Tag League Day 4 took place. Gato Move Chaka Pro 66 on YouTube. Then Freedom's Hell Don't Think 2020 took place. Friday, Westside Extreme Wrestling. Marius Alaani, who has 6 points, defeated Vincent Heisenberg. There was a Tokiyoshi Pro Style of My Love show. I did not look at the results because I would like to see the show myself before I talk about it. Also, I might have nothing to talk about next week, so I want something there. New Japan Super Juniors Day 5 took place. Then there was a Assembly Volume 2. Women's Pro Wrestling took place from Tokyo, Japan, where there were some big names on this show, where Saru Anoi and Sari defeating Asuka and Riko Kawada. The Beast Friends of Aja Kong and Kairi Unaama defeated Kaho Kabashi and Sanako Koto. Queen's Quest of Azumi and Saya Kimatani defeated Stars of Saya Ida and Starlight Kid. And Hiro Matsumoto and Yoshiko defeated Arisha Nakajima and Hanori Hana. So that had a really cool show there. Back here in the States for Resolute Wrestling Turkey Day Massacre 5. For the Resolute Undisputed title, champion Brett Eisen defeated Gustavo. And in the Wrestle Tag title, there's a 4-way match where Andrew Thomas and Dustin Johns became new champions. On to earlier today, on Saturday, November 21st, Wave Kabuki Show Weekender took place. Yeah, nothing. For the Regina Dai Wave title match, champion Nagisa Soki defeated Rina Shingaki. Oz Academy First Hunt, that was taped earlier in the month, was shown, where Akino defeated Rina Shingaki. And then Radin Hagan, Subasha Kurogeki, and Yoshiko defeated Ajakong, Hiro Matsumoto, and Kaoru Unama. Ice Ribbon 1081 took place, where a hardcore match of Risa Sera defeating Susie Suzuki. Dragon Gate Evolution Day 8 took place. Then there was a DDT Extreme title match on YouTube, free on YouTube. Super Sento Hardcore Anywhere Fall match, where champion Senshiro Takagi defeated Shunma Katsumata. Then there was a Big Japan Glitter show. Fuminara Abe and Takao Nomura defeated Koseki Sato and Yuji Okabayashi. Finally, as I mentioned last week, I was not sure if AEW would be able to run their next show in December. Sad to confirm that they will have to postpone their next show, which was to be December 10th, until after the holidays. That's because Illinois is cutting back a lot of shows and gatherings and all that other fun stuff. So stay tuned to AEW to find out when the show will take place. And in some gaming news, as I hyped during March and April, Retromania is finally set a release date for February 26, 2021, for the game to come out. And they are working with iArcade as well to put out one in cabinet form, so look out for that. I can't wait personally because I enjoy WrestleFest, and I can't wait to play Retromania. So that's a wrap for me. Till next time with any indie news or shows that come about. Don't forget those look at those Twitch streams for good causes and YouTube channels for other wrestling content. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Have a safe Thanksgiving if you partake in the holiday. Take care and be kind, everyone. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Charlie, for keeping everybody up to date on all the ins and outs of the independent scene in pro wrestling. So let's keep it rolling right along with our next segment here, where I get to play kind of armchair booker, and I am talking about the fantasy booker. Right, continuing the CHS Faction Tournament, we are in round 2, and this week's matchup is the Hart Foundation taking on the Fabulous Freebirds. Now, the Freebirds, for the purposes of this tournament, again, I am using all the Freebirds: Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, Buddy Roberts, and Jimmy Garvin, and against the Hart Foundation combination of Brett, Owen, Bulldog, and Pillman. And yeah, I mean, this is a tough one because I mean the Freebirds, one of the greatest factions in the history of the business, and the same could be said for the Hart Foundation. But yeah, in this particular case, I gotta go with the Freebirds. And you know, for me, I guess it's probably a sentimental choice. Freebirds were my favorite group growing up as a kid. World Class, you know, was the first wrestling I ever saw on TV, and so the Freebirds were one of the, you know, Freebirds and Von Erichs was the first big rivalry that I ever saw as a wrestling fan, and I always picked the Freebirds in that matchup. That was, you know, I picked the heels just because I liked I liked Michael Hayes, I liked Terry Gordy. never a big Buddy Roberts fan, but hey, he's a Freebird, so, and same thing, Jimmy Garvin, he, wasn't officially a Freebird in the world class days, but he fit right in with that group. So, in this particular case, I am taking the Fabulous Freebirds over the Hart Foundation to advance to the next round of the CHS Faction Tournament. So, that is actually going to wrap things up for this week. Believe it or not, I do not have a weekly hot take. So, I'm going to skip that segment for this week, but we will be back next week with results of the Survivor Series and everything else going on in the world of pro wrestling. So again, want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you're following on social media at catchhookshoot on all platforms. Head to ProWrestlingTees.com/catchhookshoot for all your t-shirt needs. And remember, they are having that Black Friday sale from November 24th all the way through November 30th. You get up to 40% off. And I'll be posting stuff on social media about that, because there's other stuff, you can get free delivery or free free surprise gifts with if you order a certain amount and all that kind of good stuff. So keep an eye out on social media for all of that information. Head to catchhookshoot.bigcartel.com for other t-shirts and hats that you won't find on Pro Wrestling Tees. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up. Hope everybody has a great week. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday coming up. Stay safe, stay healthy. Enjoy time with your family if you're able to. And like I said, have a great week. Enjoy all the great wrestling coming up, and I will talk to you guys soon.